Hello everyone! Finally, we're able to do this and welcome to our YouTube channel. First of all, before we proceed, to test. This topic that we're going to be talking about in our episode is something that's really very close to my heart. Something that I am always asked of and something that I think I had a lot of experience. Hindi man ako doktor, hindi man ako professional, but you know, the things that I have gone through are the things that I will be sharing with you. And sana may mapulot kayong aral, sana may mapulot kayong lakas ng loob because this episode, we will be talking about having courage every after miscarriage. You know what? Believe it or not, right now I am 44 years old. I started my career of being a mother when I was 32 years old. And then within that span, I had 6 pregnancies. And first of all, before I share with you some points and some tips on how to get over and heal from every miscarriage, let me tell you our story. Our first pregnancy is in 2008. Rafa is our eldest daughter. I gave birth sa kanya at 41 weeks. And ang sabi ng perinatologist ko, the indicator that there is already a reproductive immune deficiency, despite the fact na pinanganak ko siya at 14 weeks, her weight was relatively low. So in 2009, I gave birth to Rafa. In 2010, we had to go through a very difficult situation in my family, and that is the death of my father. So in 2010, after getting over the year, I realized that in October of 2011, I was already pregnant. I kept even all the pregnancy tests of these pregnancies. I remember having that feeling, 6 weeks delayed already. Of course, pupunta kami sa OB namin ulit para i-check, and then she asked us to go through an ultrasound. Nung magpapa-ultrasound na kami, biglang sinabi nung sonologist na although the age of gestation of your baby is 6 weeks, baka naman irregular ang menses mo. So, balik ka after 2 weeks kasi although I see a gestational sac, I still cannot see a pole inside and I cannot detect a heartbeat. So, by this time, I'm supposedly 8 weeks pregnant at ang sabi na naman ng sonologist namin na baka naman talagang it's early because from the very first ultrasound that we had, meron namang development. Lumaki naman yung gestational sac mo. Pero I still cannot see a pole. I cannot still see an embryo because in normal pregnancies, dapat by this time, meron ng at least fetal pole dito or madidetect na dapat ang heartbeat. But then again, sabi niya, don't worry because there are really pregnancies na medyo late na detect ang heartbeat. So, you wait again for another 2 weeks. Yun nga, after another 2 weeks, ang sabi na naman is the same. Wala talagang na-develop na sac. And ang malungkot pa, during this time, instead of lumalaki yung gestational sac ng baby inside my tummy, lumiliit pa siya. So, sabi nila, it's already a symptom of blighted ovum. What is a blighted ovum? A blighted ovum or yung tinatawag nilang unembryonic pregnancies, ito yung mga fetal pole or embryos na hindi nagde-develop. It's either they really don't develop or they stop developing. Pero ako as a Christian, I believe that from the moment that you get a double line in that pregnancy test, there's already a life there. Hindi man ma-detect ng ultrasound machine ng heartbeat, I know in my heart that my child was alive, and that it is something really na we have to celebrate for. May nabuhay sa tiyan ko. Kasi ang Tagalog po ng blighted ovum ay bugok na itlog. Para sa akin, ang blighted ovum is a life that has been discontinued by the Lord solely because He's the only one who knows why. So, dineclare na po nila na blighted ovum at 12 weeks at sabi ng aking OB-GYN, we had to go through the DNC. Sa Tagalog po, raspa. Ito po siguro i-insert ko lang before we proceed doon sa next pregnancy namin, no? Siguro po ang magandang words of encouragement for people who go through blighted ovum or yung mga tinatawag nating nakunan is never tell them na, oh, okay lang yan, mapapalitan mo naman yan. Alam niyo po yung buhay na nawala sa sinapupunan ng isang nanay ay buhay, hindi po bagay na napapalitan. Even if you get pregnant again, the identity and the personality of that child in your tummy that could have been a person can never be replaced by another child. So napaka-insensitive po para sa aming mga nanay na nakunan ang sabihan kami na okay lang yan, mapapalitan yan, bata ka pa, mabubuntis ka pa ulit. So siguro po, no, yung let's just be sensitive sa pag-a-address natin sa mga babaeng nakunan. Siguro if we do not know the right words to say, let's just hug them and give them the comfort and assurance that we are there for them and that we love them and we are standing by them. Yun po. 2011, we had our first miscarriage. In 2012, we had the same situation again. Na-miscarriage din na naman po kami and na-DNC na naman kami at 12 weeks. So sabi ko, something is really wrong na dito. Pero still, sinabi ng aking OB, maybe there's just really a problem. Wala pa siyang binabanggit na mga technical terms like APAS or Reproductive Immune Deficiency until our fourth pregnancy. Our fourth pregnancy is something unplanned for. Talagang nagulat kami. Nasa Boracay kami nung magkaroon ako ng pregnancy test and nag-double siya. And sa gitna ng island ng Boracay, nung tinawagan ko yung OB ko, sabi ko, nag-positive po ako. And because of my history of 2 miscarriages already, she had to tell me, you go to the nearest botika and look for Dupaston. Ang Dupaston po, yun yung iniinom na parang progesterone pampakapit ng bata. So after po ng trip namin sa Boracay, bumalik kami ng Pampanga, praise God, nagpa-ultrasound kami. Alam niyo po, by this time, sobrang traumatic experience na para sa akin ang magpa-ultrasound. Nang para humarap sa ultrasound machine, kinakabahan na ako. At this time, at 6 weeks, may heartbeat na po siya. In fact, all my records are here. I've got her heartbeat rate. Napakaganda ng heartbeat rate niya at 6 weeks. So the pregnancy went well. Ang sabi sa akin ng doktor ko, kahit hindi ka pa nagpapa-APAS test. Naku, nung time na to, hindi ko pa alam, ano ba yung APAS na yan? APAS lang ng APAS, hindi ko pa alam yung ibig sabihin niya. Sabi niya, even if hindi ka pa nagpapa-APAS test, let's treat you as APAS patient. Dahil sa obstetrical records mo, you are already an APAS patient. Sabi niya ganyan. So ito, sabi niya ganyan, kailangan mag-aspirin ka na, kasabay nung Dupaston mo, kailangan mo rin na magkaroon ng intravaginal tablets for progesterone, yung Heragest. At ito pa, sabi niya ganyan, kailangan mo nang mag-inject ng heparin everyday. So, nung una po, sabi ko, injection everyday. Sabi ko, ang hirap ata nun, hahanap pa po ba ako ng nurse para gawin yan para sa akin? Tapos sabi niya, it's either you look for a nurse to do that for you every day or you have to learn to do it yourself. Sabi niya ganyan sa akin. So sabi ko, ang gastos naman kung kailangan ko pang humanap ng nurse para gagawa ito para sa akin. Nilakasan ko ang loob ko dahil gusto ko po talaga na magkaroon kami ng anak. So tinuruan niya ako ang nag-inject sa sarili ko every day. These are some of the injections that I have. Marami pa po ito. This is just part of the collections that I have. At aside from that, ang masaklap pa nito, aside from the InnoHep that I had to inject, ako po ay na-diagnose as GDM or yung may gestational diabetes. So, I also had to inject insulin. I had to inject myself 3 times daily. This is for our 4th pregnancy. Tapos, everything seems to be going so well. Wala naman siyang sinasabi. Pero ang sabi sa akin ng mga matatanda na nakakakita sa akin, sabi niya, "Hoy, parang sexy kang buntis ngayon ha. Parang hindi ka buntis, ang liit ng tiyan mo." Ako naman, tinatanong ko naman sa OB ko yun. "Doc, ba't parang maliit yung tiyan ko?" Tapos sabi niya, "Oh, baka maliit lang talaga yan." Mini-measure niya ako ng medida. Sabi niya parang, "Okay naman yan, okay naman." Ginagamitan niya ako ng fetal Doppler every time na mag-visit ako sa kanya. "May heartbeat naman." Sabi niya ganyan. Prening ako. Bumili na kami ng fetal Doppler ngayon kasi natatakot na ako, mamaya walang heartbeat, ganyan. Di naman ako doktor. Marunong ba akong gumamit ng fetal Doppler? Hindi ko alam, baka mga veins na lang pala ng mga tunog na lang pala ng veins ko ang naririnig ko. I remember in June, in the first week of July, 2013, nag-fetal Doppler pa ako. This was the time na happy ako kasi despite the fact na sinasabi nilang maliit yung tiyan ko, meron pa ring heartbeat yung anak namin. And pagdating ng third week of July, nakaschedule kami for 4D ultrasound. So excited na excited kami, pupunta kami sa ultrasound center for our 4D ultrasound. And nung nakahiga na kami doon sa ultrasound machine, suddenly, the sonologist was so silent. Ang tahitahimik niya at ang sabi niya ganyan, "Tumataas ba yung presyon mo? May history ka ba ng hypertension?" "Wala po," sabi kong ganyan. Sabi niya, walang heartbeat yung baby mo. So alam niyo po yun, parang gumunaw yung mundo namin at imagine, it's something really that I cannot accept for myself. And I remember going through the labor pains kasi po kailangan ko siyang ipanganak and she was almost 30 weeks at that time. So, kailangan ko siyang ipanganak. I had to go through labor. In-induce po nila ako. And sabi ko nga, yung gabing yun ang pinakamalungkot na gabi sa buhay ko. I remember sharing with you that in 2010, I experienced grief firsthand at the loss of my father. Pero in 2013, when I experienced the loss of our daughter, I realized that grief comes to a person in different forms. Iba yung nararamdaman mo pag namatayan ka ng magulang. Iba rin yung mararamdaman mo pag namatayan ka ng anak. And in that night, iniisip ko talaga, masakit ang ma-induce dahil nagle-labor ka. Pero mas masakit kasi ang alam mong ipapanganak mo, patay na. So, ayun po, pinanganak namin siya. Kinremate namin siya, and I still keep a memory of her. Yung sa picture po niya sa congenital anomaly scanning niya, buong-buo yung mukha niya, ang ganda-ganda niya. Yan, too bad we did not have the courage to take a picture of her when I gave birth to her. So my memory of her is just the ones that I have in my heart when she was handed over to me in the delivery room. The pain po talaga is incomparable. Siguro nga dahil ang anak dapat ang naglilibing sa magulang, hindi yung magulang ang naglilibing sa anak. Kaya napakasakit, ang hirap. Why do you like to get pregnant again so soon? Is it to replace your dead baby? Because that's going to be very unfair for your next child. She is not a replacement. She is a new person. And if you really like her for who she is and for who she will become,